Coming up on the bench, Syracuse football is back in the Salt City. Dino Babers and crew hit the reset button over the weekend and started a clean slate against Louisville in the Dome. Find out if the Orange could take down quarterback Malik Cunningham and the rest of the Cardinals.
Plus, on the pitch, Syracuse women's soccer is looking strong in non-conference play. The Orange kicked off the month of September with a 3-1 record. Find out how Cuse fared last Thursday at Eastern Michigan and at home against Merrimack on Sunday.
And Syracuse men's soccer hit the road for the first time this season. The Orange had two stiff tests away from SU Soccer Stadium, Vermont and UConn. Could Ian McIntyre's squad keep the good times rolling? All that and more. It's a brand new season of On the Bench, and it starts right now. Hey, and welcome into our CitrusTV studios alongside my good pal, Trey Redfield. I'm Johnny Gadamowitz, and we are so glad to have you on board as we kick off a new season of On the Bench. And boy, do we have a loaded show for you today. Fall semester in full swing, which means SU Athletics is back in full swing. And with that, let's kick it off with this week's headlines. Before we get to the football on the field, some injury news trickled down on both sides of the ball for Syracuse football. Head coach Dino Babers announcing that both Chris Elmore, the fullback, and Stefan Thompson, the linebacker, will miss the remainder of the season for Syracuse football on the year. Elmore has experience as a tight end, as an offensive lineman, both sustaining those injuries in the season opening game against Louisville this past weekend. Elmore set to participate in his sixth season with SU, and Stefan Thompson, part of a really strong linebacking core last year for the Cuse, started every game, but he is done for the rest of the season.
Remember when Taj Harris transferred to Rutgers from Syracuse back in January? Well, now the former Orange standout at wide receiver is stepping away from football due to personal reasons. Harris released a statement on Twitter Monday afternoon stating this, quote, "I have decided to step away from the game that I love for now to focus on my family and myself. Please respect my privacy. I will have no further comments at this time." Harris had just one reception for 9 yards in Rutgers' 22-21 win at Boston College on Saturday.
Moving off the hill, plenty of former SU stars are taking their talents to the next level. We've got 7 former Cuse football players that are on a Week 1 NFL roster. And the list includes veterans like Chandler Jones, in addition, Trey, to some younger players like Andre Sisco, Fatu Melifonwu, to name a few. The NFL season kicks off this Thursday night when the Bills meet the Rams, and former SU punter Riley Dixon will suit up for Los Angeles. But Trey, Orange alums are getting it done off the field as well.
That's right, Justin Outen. You may remember him. He was an offensive lineman for Syracuse in the 2000s, graduated from SU in 2006. Now he's the offensive coordinator for the Denver Broncos. So, Johnny, some would say, like Russell Wilson, Broncos country. Let's ride. A
lot to look forward to in the pro ranks. As far as the collegiate ranks are concerned, we finally made it. Syracuse football week number 1. And everyone remembers following a 5-4 start a year ago, the Orange losing out on their final 3 games. That meant a 3rd consecutive season with no bowl game. But hope springs eternal in the offseason, and with it, 2 new big names. Robert Anae, the brand new offensive coordinator, and Jason Beck, the quarterback's coach, head coach Dino Babers, snagging both of those guys from a Virginia squad that was second in the ACC in passing just a year ago. And their first task, well, how about taking down a Louisville squad that has held the Cuse to just 3 points over the last 2 seasons. Total and utter dominance from the Cardinals as of recently. But early on, it was the Cuse who struck first. Sean Tucker, not on the ground, but through the air. A little halfback slip screen, scurries his way down that right sideline, and safe to say, number 34 pleased with the start to his season. But Louisville hanging around. Tyon Evans would respond very quickly. 36-yard house call for him. That made it 10-7 Syracuse. Garrett Schrader enters the year as QB1 for the first time for the Cuse. 3rd and long, needing to make something happen. Shimmy shakes a couple of Cardinal defenders. That'll move the sticks, and that bodes well for SU because they worked it all the way down to the red zone. And hey, you give the ball to Sean Tucker in the red zone, good things start to happen. His 2nd touchdown of the day. Not much offense for Louisville. They had to dip into the bag of tricks, a handoff and then a pass. That set the Cardinals up in the red zone, but this is the play that really set the tone of the game. Malik Cunningham absolutely stuffed at the goal line by Marlowe Wax. You can see the Syracuse defense absolutely loving it. They take a 10-point lead in the halftime break, but the ever so dangerous Cunningham would not go down quietly. 45-yard completion to Amari Huggins-Bruce. All of a sudden, you got the feeling maybe Louisville starting to creep their way back. Cunningham trying for a big play. It's a bird, it's a play. Nope, it's just Garrett Williams doing what he does best in that Syracuse secondary, denying the Cardinals points. That was INT number 1 for Cunningham. He lofts yet another right into the breadbasket of a Syracuse defender. It's Derek McDonald picking off Cunningham. Formerly a tight end, now he's a defender. But hey, speaking of the tight end, how about Syracuse throwing to one in the red zone, no less? Oronde Gadsden making 24-7 Cuse. And then QB1 doing it with his legs. 31-7 the Cuse. Take it in style, and Anthony Vasquez details the SU win.
Syracuse kicked off the 2022 campaign in style after it picked apart the Louisville Cardinals 31-7 Saturday evening. A big reason why is because of a defense that played fast, that played strong, and saw its star players step up.
The defense did an amazing job. They really played a complete game. Couldn't be happier for Coach White. Couldn't be happier for those single-digit guys in that entire defense, and the way the backups came in when guys went down. Really proud of them.
Our coaches talked about all week just looking for work when you're in zone coverage, and my man went underneath, so when I saw Malik looking at the deep post, I felt like it was necessary for me to climb, and when I seen the ball, I just tried to make a play.
I feel like the defense came out here and we just executed. Last year I feel like we didn't execute our play calls a lot, and we started off real slow. The big emphasis was to start out fast and just keep our foot on their necks.
It wasn't just the defense that stepped up tonight, though. On the offensive side of the ball, Garrett Schrader and Sean Tucker picked up right where they left off last season, making big plays and capitalizing off the short field the defense gave them.
Started all in the offseason, and just with the new offense, we were competing and putting a lot of strain on them, and the stuff they do puts a lot of strain on us, and it's so much easier because we got to practice against these guys every day. It's just those linebackers, those corners, those DBs, and the D-line. So, it paid off today, and we're excited for next week.
Coach Babers' squad will look to continue that momentum into next week's battle as the Orange travel north to Storrs, Connecticut to take on the Yukon Huskies, where kickoff is set for 7 p.m. Reporting from the JMA Wireless Dome, Anthony Vasquez, CitrusTV.
Anthony Vasquez, thanks so much. Syracuse begins the season on a high note with not only an ACC win, but a dominant performance from Garrett Schrader. QB1 was filthy in the opener, throwing for 236 yards and 2 touchdowns on the ground. Impressive as well. Schrader rushed for 94 yards and a TD. So Schrader showing the dual threat ability, but what's eye-popping is his work in the air. This is the 3rd time that Schrader has thrown for over 200 yards. The last time he did that, Johnny, last season in the Orange's win at Virginia Tech. Nationally, Schrader was noticed. According to Pro Football Focus, the 4th-year junior was the highest-rated Power 5 quarterback in the nation.
A whole lot to like for number 6 in orange and blue. And Trey, it's tough to get nitpicky with a 31-7 victory. But believe it or not, there was a glaring issue for the Cuse in week 1. How about the penalties? Dino Babers' crew committing 18 penalties for up over 100 yards. That a new program record. SU committing nearly triple as many penalties as the Cardinals did. But still, the Cuse did offset that drawback by reaching almost 450 yards of total offense. So, Syracuse football is 1-0 and trying to pad its resume. How about a team on the hill that's already got quite the resume going? SU men's soccer took care of business in the first 2 games of the season. Could they keep it rolling on the road? All that and more on The Bench. We'll be right back.
I see you mobbing over her. Let's go. Let's mob. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, we mobbing. Come on, girl. Let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl. Hey, let's crawl. Hey, yo, let's crawl.
Welcome back to On the Bench. That's Johnny Gadamowitz. I'm Trey Redfield. Let's go from the gridiron to the pitch. After Syracuse men's soccer had kind of a shaky season last year, basically mid, if you want to describe it that way, 8-2. The Orange are finding a way to get it going. Something good is brewing here on the Hill, Johnny.
Yeah, Trey, no matter the sport, it's really important to start out the season on the right foot. And this has been exactly the case for SU men's soccer. A season-opening win over Iona, combined with a big-time upset over a ranked Penn State team, that propelled the Orange into the top 25. And safe to say, SU carried some serious momentum to Burlington for a matchup with UVM, but the Orange could not salvage a win on the road. Instead, it ended up being a 1-1 tie for the two squads. Levante Johnson put the Orange on the board just 9 minutes in, but the offense fell silent after that. Really, same could be said for Vermont. Not a whole lot of opportunities in the attacking third on either side. Just 2 shots on goal between the two teams. But Trey, it was a different story Monday at UConn.
That's right, Johnny. Syracuse was in stores where it dominated UConn from first to final whistle in a 5-0 victory on Monday night. 3 of the Orange's 5 goals came from players coming off the bench. Next up for Cuse, an ACC battle. 22nd ranked Notre Dame on Saturday. Kickoff is set for 1 from SU Soccer Stadium.
So make it a 3-0-1 start for the men's soccer team through the first 4 games. And for more on one of the hottest teams on the Hill, let's send it to Trey and CitrusTV men's soccer beat reporter Andrew Sullivan.
Johnny, thanks so much. We're now joined by CitrusTV men's soccer beat reporter Andrew Sullivan. Andrew, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Trey.
The defense for Syracuse has been stout. What makes Ian McIntyre's back line so elite?
Well, I think it's all about experience, Trey. When you talk about 2 senior defenders in Christian Curdy and Booster Schoberg, 2 guys that have played a lot of soccer and a lot of soccer together, so they know what it takes to have a cohesive back line, and they've been fantastic so far. You add in a senior goalkeeper in Russell Shealy. This defense, phenomenal so far. Just 1 goal allowed through 4 games.
That's pretty good last time I checked. And the guy that was pretty good last year for the Orange was a striker. His name, DeAndre Kerr, now playing professionally in MLS for Toronto FC. How has the Orange changed in mixing it up and also replacing a guy like Kerr?
Well, they have to replace their leading goal scorer in Kerr. You mentioned it. They go to the transfer portal, pick up a couple guys in Nathan Opoku, a transfer from Lindsey Wilson, an NAIA school, as well as a Seattle transfer in Levante Johnson. These 2 guys are really good at what they do. Opoku, a true goal scorer, 19 goals in 19 games. Johnson, more of a facilitator, 8 assists and 9 goals, and they've been getting it done early for the Orange as well. 2 goals for each through 4 games.
The offense and defense coming together in the early parts of the season and came through last Sunday against 21st ranked Penn State in a 1-0 win at SU Soccer Stadium. Andrew, you hear a result like that. What does it mean for Syracuse going forward with that big-time win in non-con play?
A big-time win, and it's all about learning how to win for this team. They struggled a year ago at doing so, lost 5 of 6 ACC games by just 1 goal, didn't win a single game by 1 goal, and now they start off with an upset win of Penn State. As you head towards conference play, you have to learn how to win, and for the Orange, they were able to close out a 1-0 game in the final 10 minutes. That should give them tremendous experience headed towards the ACC opener against Notre Dame next weekend.
That's the next time Syracuse will be in action. Be sure to follow that man right there on Twitter, @Andrew Sullivan, for all the latest updates with Cuse men's soccer. Andrew, thanks so much for joining us.
Thanks, Trey.
Johnny, let's shift gears and talk about women's soccer.
All right, gentlemen, good stuff getting us up to speed on the pitch for the men's side. As for women's soccer, Nikki Adams' bunch has been red hot. It was a 2-game week for the women's soccer team, a trip to Eastern Michigan, followed by a home date with Merrimack. Now, as for game number 1, the Cuse were in total control. They take down Eastern Michigan 2-0 the score. Chelsea DeMond had both goals for the Orange. And how about Shea Vanderbosch in net for the Cuse. This is someone who made her starting debut back on just August 25th. But Trey, she has done nothing but dominate since stepping up to be goalie number 1.
Johnny, you could not have said it any better. Both Syracuse defeating Eastern Michigan for the second straight season, and it leads to an opportunity for a career milestone for Orange head coach Nikki Adams. Just one more win would not only give Cuse a 4-game winning streak, its best start in 6 years, but it would also give its bench boss her 100th career win. It would have to come on a Sunday at SU Soccer Stadium against Merrimack, September, senior day. They go together here. I mean, we roll with it, but the Orange were rolling early. 6th minute, Ashley Rauch gets a cross into the box, gets a foot on it, finds the back of the net. It's 1-0 SU early. 6 minutes later, Merrimack trying to equalize. Ella Cormier from well outside the box fires a shot. Shay Vanderbosch comes out with the save. Still 1-0 SU. In the 23rd minute now, Jenna Tivnan off the set piece can't find the back of the net. Great effort though, Lily Morgan with the save. Another try here, this one coming from Blue Ellis. An even better save from Morgan for the Warriors. Now into the 41st minute, Lily Morgan all over the place. Another big time save here, but she could not stop this one from Chelsea DeMond. Makes some space to the left side. Oh, great footwork. Finds the back of the net in the process. It's 2-0 Syracuse after one half of play. 5 minutes later, it's Erin Tilsley with a try well outside 18. She misses high and wide to the left. But finally, Merrimack gets on the board thanks to a corner kick. Julian Goldman goes back post with it off the header. It's 2-1 SU, and this is when the shots kept on coming at an all-time high right here for the Orange. You see it on your screen. 7 shots in 10 minutes after conceding that corner kick, that one coming from Kobe Commandant. 6 minutes later, a great ball sent in to Blue Ellis into the middle of the box. She can't find the back of the net. Another save for Lily Morgan, and speaking of Morgan, she's taking this free kick here with 12 minutes remaining in the second. Her try misses wide to the right. It was Merrimack that came up unlucky, and Syracuse that prevailed by a final of 2-1.
Coming up on OTB, we shift gears to another team that's gotten out to an electric start this fall. It's field hockey. We'll tell you how Ange Bradley's group wrapped up their 3-game road trip and what the home opener had in store. Welcome back to On the Bench alongside Trey Redfield. I'm Johnny Gadamowitz. So happy you could join us as we roll along here on our first show of the fall season. Now we've already hit on a couple of groups that have hit the ground running, so how about we give you another Syracuse field hockey. Trey, the Cuse went 2-0 through their first 2 games, outscoring opponents 11-0, and they just kept on rolling in Game 3 against Kent State.
Johnny, the 7th-ranked Orange are arguably one of the most consistent teams on campus. Syracuse has made the NCAA tournament twice in the last 3 seasons. This year, Cuse off to a good start, like you said, 2-0 on the year, but Friday, that only got better. Syracuse went into Ohio and pounded Kent State 5-0, and talk about revenge, especially when you bring last year into the picture. In 2021, the Golden Flashes won 2-1 in Syracuse in overtime. Johnny, Ange Bradley and company was not done yet, though.
The Golden Flashes proved to be no issue for the Cuse, make it a perfect 3-0 road trip. So you would think that a homecoming to J.S. Coyne Stadium for the opener would bode well for the Orange, right? Well, let's see if Syracuse could make it 4 straight to start the year against Columbia. And tough news for Columbia. Charlotte DeVries for Syracuse is back for her senior year, and she already looks to be in mid-season form. Put Syracuse up early 1-0. Not just the seniors getting the job done, though. How how about the freshman? This is Lika Legongers off of Karina Coleman's assist. Make it 2-0 Syracuse. SU big time up early, and they would just keep it rolling. We saw Coleman's on the assist before. Now she's going to come up with a turnover and keep it herself. More from her coming up in half number 2. She was really feeling it today. Out of that halftime break, thinking number 2, she makes it number 2. It's 4-0 Syracuse. Now, this is the 5th all-time game between Syracuse and Columbia, and that shot and that goal right there is the first time the Lions have ever scored against the Qs. That made it 4-1. And Syracuse said, look, okay, penalty corner, anything you can do, I can do better, as the Orange notch a goal off a penalty corner of their own. And then Karina Coleman's a bit later on. She already had number 1. She already had number 2. Get her the hat trick. There's number 3. Syracuse takes it 6-2. Our Skylar Wilkes still details the Orange win.
About 5.5 minutes into the fourth quarter, Karina Coleman's received the pass, turned, then fired, scoring her 3rd goal of the game. The grad student's first career hat trick helped guide Syracuse to a 6-2 win over Columbia in its home opener. SU head coach Ange Bradley said that it was Coleman's positioning that helped her reach this milestone.
I think Q is just finding her rhythm and being able to create goal-scoring chances, and she's moving the ball that then puts her in position to get the next pass, which is really nice to do. So.
I think this year we have a lot of attacking players and people who can give me the ball at the spaces I want to. So I don't really know. It's just I think I'm in the right spot at the right time. So I've been practicing and it's working out so far.
Coleman's has now scored 5 times in the last 2 games, leading the team with 6 on the season. SU improves to 4-0, outscoring its opponents 22-2 over that stretch. Syracuse is back on the road next week, facing another Ivy League foe in Princeton. Game time is set for 4 p.m. on Friday. Reporting from JS Coyne Stadium, Skylar Wilkes, CitrusTV.
Skylar, thanks so much. Still to come on the bench, the best part of the show. Johnny and I will give you this week's top plays along with our performers of the week. OTB continues after this.
OTN is on all your favorite apps: Apple TV, Fire TV, and Roku. Search Orange Television Network or OTN. OTN has its best shows, short films, and Citrus TV on demand. Family and friends can watch OTN too. Watch the live stream of OTN to catch live Citrus TV news, live from Studio B, and mornings on the Hill. On or off campus, watch OTN anywhere.
What are you, superheroes?
Just 4 brothers who hate bullies and love this city. Gear up, guys.
Closing up shop here on The Bench as we welcome you back inside our Citrus TV studios. He's Trey Redfield. I'm Johnny Gadamowitz. Trey, you know what time it is?
It's 10:39.
Is it already?
Yeah,
Well, I'm not going for that. I'm going for the best time of the week. It is time for our top plays. We're going to break down the top 3 plays on the Hill that left us with our jaws wide open. And let's kick it off with field hockey. Syracuse field hockey. We hit on the week that they had already. But how about the individual play of Charlotte DeVries? Let her go to work. She fed Karina Coleman's All she had to do was tap it right in. How about that laser of a pass from the left side from DeVries?
Not too shabby, Johnny, but we're moving to the gridiron for number 2. I'm shifting attention towards the 6 god. Garrett Schrader, he not only returns wearing the number 6 like he did at Mississippi State, but he did show off his legs yet again. Look at that, getting over a defender, scrambling, getting the first down and then some, getting all the way to the 29-yard line. Watch it again if you didn't see it already. Has to roll to the right, gets across the line of scrimmage. Oh man, that's just silly right there from you, Garrett Schrader. How do you do, man?
A whole lot to like from Schrader, a whole lot to like for the rest of the Cuse offense. Some would say, though, it was the Syracuse football defense that really wowed some fans because of plays like that. Garrett Williams, he's the guy for the Syracuse secondary. Malik Cunningham trying to go for 6 points, and number 8 in orange and blue says, nope, I'll take that. Thank you very much. Syracuse rolls 31-7 thanks to an impressive play from Garrett Williams. So those are top plays. But now what about the individual players who shone brightest? Before we say goodnight here on OTB, let's check out our performers of the week. And we're going to start it off on the pitch. Chelsea DeMond has been eating her Wheaties for breakfast because she put together a spectacular week. 3 goals over 2 games. The grad student netted 2 scores in Eastern Michigan and a notch against Merrimack as well. Trey, she's become a proven commodity in the box for the Cuse.
I mean, yeah, 3 goals in 2 games. That's not too shabby last time I checked. But let's move from one pitch to another. We're chatting about 7th-ranked Syracuse field hockey, and it's the offensive anchor coming in clutch yet again. Karina Comans is our second performer of the week, and she deserves it. The grad student has 5 goals and 1 assist. That came this past weekend. Then to put the cherry on top, she had herself a hat trick in an electric 6-2 win over Columbia. That hat trick, like I mentioned, Johnny, the first of her career.
Definitely a worthy nomination for Comans, and now it's time for our top performer of the week. It's Syracuse's QB1, Garrett Schrader. 236 yards through the air, another 94 on the ground, keeping U of L defenders on their toes all day. You had the Mississippi State transfer throw for 2 touchdowns. He completed really most of his passes on the day. Named Pro Football Focus highest ranked Power 5 quarterback in week 1. Busy time on the hill and a whole lot to like. Garrett Schrader, our performer of the week, but that is all the time we have here on the bench with Trey Redfield. I'm Johnny Gadamowitz saying so long. Thanks so much for tuning in. And with that, we hope you enjoy your images of the week.
It's the first game of the season for Louisville and Syracuse. And ACC football is back. Look out, Sean Tucker in the open field. Kiss that man goodbye. Touchdown, Syracuse. Left, loads it up, fires, man open, picked off. Garrett Williams. Schrader looks to throw, wide open man. Arondé Gaston hauls it in. Touchdown, Syracuse.
And in the 2022 season opener, Syracuse steamrolls Louisville.